Number 53 through 55, we have a cubic function and I graphed it like this and I had to go up to 50 to see it. The average rate of change between -1 and 2 is right here, -1 and 2. I'd use a trace function to figure out what the y values were. Either fractions or decimals is okay. So when I use the formula for slope, I got the y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1, which equaled 3. So the slope of this line right here is 3. Part B, the slope at one specific point, the rate of change at 0 is right here, okay? So I need to use the power rule. So I have this 1/3 times 3, -1/3 times 3 is going to be -1. And I reduce the power by 1. 2 times 3 is 6, and I reduce the power by 1. And this x becomes 1, and then the -1 goes away because it's a constant. So now I plug in 0 everywhere inside this, and I have y prime equals 1. That's the slope at x equals 0, at that point 0. So that's going to be the slope of 1. The equation needs the 0 for the x, the m for the slope for the right here 1, but we also need to find the y. So I use the trace function again in the original equation to find that y is going to be equal to -1. All right, so that point right there is 0, -1. And I plug in the point right there and the slope, and I have my final answer. Double negative makes it positive right here. The slope at 1, I plug it back into the power rule, the y prime, and I get 6 is my slope. And then I have to find the y with the trace function in the original equation to get 2.667, and that's what I got here. So my slope and my point done.